Hey, welcome to Joseph's Reserves. I'm Joseph, and today we're going to be starting a whole new series for you. We are going to be starting some nickel box hunting. So I actually went to the store and I purchased these 3 albums that we're going to be filling. This is my personal collection. I do have some holes to fill in this one. Let's take a quick look. It looks like it's mostly semi-key dates and key dates. Other than this folder, the next one I believe is full, or might have just 1 or 2 holes. I put together these folders when I first started collecting coins, so I know that there are even some that have the wrong mint mark in this, as well as very poor examples, especially for the years that this is. And I actually just picked up this one yesterday, so this one's completely empty. And then I picked up this one as well yesterday. I do have a few Buffalo nickels, but I haven't put them in here yet. So we'll be filling this one. This shouldn't have any issue probably filling that completely, as well as looking for a lot of upgrades in both of these and seeing how many boxes it takes to fill all 3 of these folders. So let's get on into it. Alright, I started to open this box and realized it's really glued on there. I might have some issue with doing it one-handed, so I got us some tools. Let's see. Alright, let's look for some enders real quick. So right off the bat, it doesn't look like we have any silver enders. Definitely no buffalo enders. But there are some that look a bit older. Let's see if we can get a mint mark on that. Nope, that's covered. We definitely have some of the Westward Journey. I'm gonna go ahead and flip these all over and see if we can get any enders on the other side. All right, I've got these all flipped over. There's still no enders, so we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it. All right, we've got the first roll here. All right, so we've got 5 rolls in. Let me go ahead and organize these into what I found. All right, this is a pretty good showcase of what I'm going to be pulling aside as I go through these rolls. I'm planning on going through about 5 rolls and then doing a quick wrap up of each roll, of each 5 rolls. So I am pulling aside some really shiny ones that I find. This is just a 2021 Denver. There's 2 of them, a 2022 Denver and a 2023 Denvers. I got 3 of the Denvers, so I'm probably gonna be putting one back. Just as I find the really shiny ones, I'll pull them out because we are gonna be filling those albums. Then I do have these Westward Journey ones. I usually pull all of these aside unless they are really cruddy like this. I'll go ahead and throw those back. Even this one, they're not really worth much. I like to put full sets together or full tubes, but even in conditions like this, no one's really going to want to pay extra for something like this, even as a set or in a full tube. So we'll go ahead and pass up that as well. And then in the category of actual finds, these are what most collectors will pull out of their rolls. The older coins here. I have two 1964s. One's a Philly and one is a Denver. You see the Denver mint mark right there on the side of the Monticello there. I said most collectors will pull these out. They actually usually stop at pre-60s. I like to pull out up to 64. I won't keep all of them, but that's kind of where my cherry picker's guide will end, with the errors to look at is 64 and earlier. So these do have some errors to look at. So I hold them aside until the end of the hunt when I look through all the coins for varieties and errors. And then I'll likely be sending these back with the rest of the coins. However, we do have one older one in the actual finds. This one is a Philadelphia. It is a 1941. It's a nice older coin. It's in pretty good condition for one this age. You still see some details in the building. You can kind of make out the pillars there. I believe there are some errors to look at for this coin, so we actually found one older one in the first 5 rolls. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and set up this whole thing over in my area that it's going to hold for the rest of the hunt, and we will continue the next 5 rolls. Alright, I gotta bring you in for this one. This is a 1939, the second year of issue of these Jefferson nickels. And it looks like we've got a mint mark right there, which actually makes this a semi-key date. I believe I actually need this for my personal collection. Let's see if we can get a closer look to tell what mint mark that is. That looks like a San Francisco. 1939 San Francisco. Semi-key date. All right. All right, that's the next 5 rolls there. So as you can see, we got plenty more of the Westward Journey. We've got a bunch more shiny ones here. Then for our actual finds, we did get that 1939 that I was super stoked to find, and a 1947 from Philadelphia. So we'll go ahead and add that to our finds over here with the 1941. And then we did find 2 more of the 64. This is like the most common year, especially this far back, for nickels. So we'll likely be finding a lot of these. However, they do have those errors to look for, so I'm happy to set them aside during the hunt. Let's go ahead and go through another 5. Alright, I did find these super disgusting coins stuck together with some gum. I'll probably just be completely cleaning these off and sending them back to the bank. They're not even any nice years or anything, but we'll still find stuff like this in bank wrap rolls. It's just wild. Nice shiny ones. Westward Journeys. Get those set aside as well. And then as you see, I have these kind of discolored ones here. I have a small collection of discolored coins, but I think I was going for more of a specific look. So I don't know if any of these qualify, but it is possible. I found a YouTuber that actually has a whole side book of, I think it's dimes, and he's doing the ugliest dimes he could find. So I thought it was a pretty interesting idea, so if I ever have the chance to have an extra book, might as well make a collection of the dirtiest, you know, nickels, dirtiest quarters, dirtiest dimes. Just an interesting one. And there were a lot in those 5 rolls, so there we have them. All right, and then as for the quote-unquote actual finds, I found a 63 and 64. I know most people aren't too interested about those. I did find a 2009, so of this modern Jefferson design, the 2 lowest minted years are the 2009 and the 2024. So I'll be pulling out any of those that I find as well. We also found a 55. The Philadelphia is a semi-key date, but that's a Denver. A 54 as well. This one is also a Denver. And a 46. 1 year prior, and it would have been a silver nickel. But that is also from Philadelphia. So a few more finds. We'll be organizing them back here. All right, let's keep going. All right, that is 20 rolls here, so let me go ahead and move out. Here's these 30 ones that I found. My Westward Journey ones that I'm saving. I also found these 64s. And a 63. This one's actually pretty shiny. Let's see. Yeah, this one's in pretty good condition for a 63. And it is at Denver. Wow, it's in really good condition. So that one's definitely going to go in my book. That one will probably upgrade what I have in my personal collection. And then let's see, some shiny pulls here, a 1995 and a 1980. Then our actual finds. So I did find a 2009 from Philadelphia, to go along with our 2009 from Denver. So to show you guys that those are low mintage, I actually took the time to make a little bit of a cheat sheet. Here's our low mintage numbers. So as you can see, 2009, Philadelphia had 39 million and Denver had 46 million. The 2024 is 36 million and 32 million. So those are really low mintage numbers for this new modern design. All the other ones are in the multiple hundreds of millions. So we'll set those aside. Other than that, I did find a 1958 from Denver and a 1942 not silver from Philadelphia. The Denver that's not from silver, sorry, the one from Denver that is not silver is actually a bit of a lower mintage with only 13 million minted. And then there is actually a few examples of some from San Francisco. There's so few that they are not quite sure if they are authentic. I think there's only like 4 or 5 that were found. So make sure, even if you don't have the large mint mark on the back indicating it's silver, check the mint mark, because those from 1942 with a mint mark on the side of the building may be worth a little bit of something. All right, well, that was the first 20 rolls. Let's go ahead and get back into it. All right, that is roll 25. Let me get these stacks out of the way. So that was the ugly coins. Then we have the Westward Journey coins. Here's a small stack of 64s. Then we have, this is a 47, another 2009 from Denver. Then we pulled a shinier looking 70, 1960 and 1961. All right, let's take a close look at this 47. There is a mint mark there. Looks like that is a San Francisco, 1947 from San Francisco. Not a key date or better date, but awesome to find one from San Francisco. All right, that is halfway through our box, so let's keep it going. No way. Look at this. Guys, this is my first ever Buffalo nickel found coin roll hunting. Looks to have a date. I might be able to make it out. Let's see. looks like a 3 right on the end there. Okay, there's no mint mark. Right there, I can almost see something. Let's see if we can get my loop going here. Trying to figure out what's best for the camera. There we go. Oh man, I can't tell through the camera. Cannot tell through the camera. I'm gonna take a look off camera. I'll cut right back to y'all. Alright, it looks to be a 1919. Let me see if I can show that to you guys. You can see, oh, there's a a 9 at the end, and the other 9 starts very close to it, which makes me want to say that that's a 1 right next to that 9. So I'm going to say it's a 1919 from Philadelphia. Let me go ahead and look up mintages because I'm so unfamiliar with Buffalo nickels. All right, everybody, I just pulled out my brand new 2026 Red Book. And let's see here. Oh, it starts at, that's 1919 Denver. Here we go. I guess it's going to be all the way at the bottom of this page. 1919 from Philadelphia right there. 60 million. And a good 4. It's worth about $2. So this is not even a good 4. Barely legible date. Is a very high mintage coin. So definitely not key date. Definitely not semi-key date or even a better date. But wow, look at that. A Buffalo nickel. Like I said, guys, first ever coin roll hunting. So I'm just ecstatic about that. That is so cool. Okay, well, let's get into this roll. All right, that was roll 30. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I found. I did get a 60, 61, 62, and 63s. So 30 rolls to get our first 62. And this just goes to show, guys, these lower 60s coins, other than the 64, are actually pretty hard to come by. I feel like if that might be the only one in the entire box, maybe I'll find another one, but 2 in an entire box. I mean, I already have 3 2009s, and that's considered low mintage that people collect. So, I mean, those low 60s are worth keeping, guys. A shinier 2000. We have the Westward Journey. These dirtier looking ones. And then I did pull out some toners. And this one, guys. This kind of makes me upset. Look at this. This is a nicely toned coin that someone went ahead and marked. They marked it with a red Sharpie. I don't know if that was a coin roll hunter just marking that they already went through these rolls somehow, maybe hoping that this would end up on as an ender and indicate to them that they don't want to go through these coins. But I mean, I'm finding a whole lot, and even in the same couple 5 rolls, a Buffalo nickel. So this mark doesn't even help. It's honestly just disrespectful because this is a nicely toned coin, guys. I would have definitely kept this, but not with that mark on it. That's not something I'm going to be able to get off without some sort of chemical. It's just upsetting. So if you're coin roll hunting, please stop marking your coins. It might be a coin that someone else is wanting to collect, and that's disrespectful to other coin roll hunters. But we did find this nicely toned coin. The reverse is pretty yellow and orange. The obverse is not, it just has that one mark which kind of more takes away from the look, but I do like this reverse. This might be, if I do end up getting enough toned coins in a folder where it's asking for the Monticello reverse, I might be able to put this coin in there. So that's a pretty cool find. We'll set that aside. And this toner here, a 2014, some nice yellows, pretty cool. And then of course the star of this 1919. The more I look at it, the more I'm able to see the 19. Even at, especially at an angle like this, you could see it's definitely a 1919. Maybe it seems easier farther away. Let's see. Right about there, it's coming through quite a bit. Anyway, awesome find, Buffalo nickel, 1919 Philadelphia. Just awesome. Let's keep it going. All right, that was the 35 rolls. We're 35 rolls in now. The last 5, I'm just moving my stack up 64s, these 63s, the westward journey, and these dirty ones here. Let's take a look at our actual finds. Well, this is just a shinier. Ooh, let's see if we can get that to focus. This is just a shinier 1991. However, I did find my first ever 2024. This one's from Philadelphia. And this one I didn't quite get from the color on the edge. It's a very odd color for what it is. This is a silver nickel. Usually these have a bit of a darker, dark gray look to them. As you see, it looks like it's red underneath the top layer. I'm not sure, but this is a 1944 from Philadelphia. You can see the mint mark is right on top here. So now we also have a silver. So far we have a bunch of older finds, a key date, 1939, the 1919 Buffalo, and now a silver. Really, I can't ask much more from a single box. This is such a good box, guys. All right, 35 rolls in. We've got 15 left. So let's keep it going. Alright, that was roll 40. So now we have the next 5 rolls here. We got a few of these dirtier ones, a few of these Westward Journey. We did get some more 64s. And we got 2 more 2009s. This 2009 Denver was marked up by a coin roll hunter. I'll see what I can do about getting these marks off. But this is a Denver, and I believe this is a Philly. Yeah, Philadelphia, 2009 Philadelphia. So we'll add those to our little collection over here. And then I also found this 1957 from Denver. So that one we will also be keeping. All right, let's keep it going. All right, that was roll 40 through 45. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got here. This is our Westward Journey pile. Then we've got a dirtier one here. An extra shiny 2016 that we'll set aside. Got 2 2009s, both Denver. A few from the 60s, so I got 64, 61, 62, 64, 60, and another 64. So the 64s are starting to add up. 1964 is actually the highest minted nickel just in history. Even in today's numbers, the 1964 blows them all out of the water. That's one of the few years that we minted over 1 billion nickels, while the other ones are in the numbers of a few 100 million. So we're guaranteed to find a lot of the 64s, and I won't be keeping all of them. But these 62s, that's the second one I found in the entire box. 61 is the third one I found in the entire box. And 60 is also the third one I found in the entire box. So again, don't be throwing back all those lower 60s ones. And then these pre-60s finds, I actually got a, let's zoom in, a 1940s from Philadelphia, and 2 1941. This one is from Philadelphia, and so is this one. So let's go ahead and put these over with our older collection. All right, let's keep it going. 5 rolls left. All right, that was the end of the box. So we didn't really have many finds. These are all the Westward Journey ones that I pulled out of the last 5 rolls. One dirty one, and one 1964 from Denver. There we go. It wasn't focusing at all. Yeah, so the last 5 rolls didn't really do much, but that'll do it for the box. All right, I've got all of the older coins laid out here. This is starting at 40. So 40, 41, which we did find 3 of, then 42, 46, 47. Then there's a bit of a jump to 45. This is a 55 Denver, a 57, and a 58. Down here is the 39 from San Francisco, our key date, as well as the Buffalo nickel that we found. That's the 1919, and again, the longer I look at it, the more clearly I can see that 19, so that's pretty awesome. It's definitely a 1919 from Philadelphia. And then the silver that we found, the 1944 from Philadelphia. And I've just gone through the cherry picker's guide with all of these coins, and unfortunately we didn't find any of the errors. So we'll go ahead and start putting these into our new book. I'm gonna check with my personal collection before it goes into the Series 1 book. But we'll go ahead and put these older ones in. Pretty sure this key date is going to be going into my personal collection. This Buffalo nickel is going to be the first one going into my Buffalo nickel collection. I do have a few others, so I'll go ahead and put all of those in, and then we'll start taking a look at the next category of the coins that I pulled aside. So I've been going through the discards. I ended up with 2 full containers like this. I've already gone all the way through the 20s, teens, and the 2000s, all the way until the Westward Journey coins, so 2004 all the way to 2024. I only found one 2024. Everything else I was able to get 2 examples of each year and mint mark, so that we can go ahead and put them into the 2 books. The last book goes all the way back to 1996, so I'll be doing this all the way back to 1996. But here's what I have for 2024, and then 23, all the way down to 2006, and then 2005 and 2004. So here I have split Philadelphia and Denver. There were only 2 Philadelphias for this design. Denver here, Philadelphia, Denver, and so on. And I got the best 2 examples of each to go into our book. But since I did have a chance to re-look at every single one of the coins of this box, I actually did find 2, I guess, errors or side pulls. This one is an actual error. This is a lamination error. Let me see if we can get a good look at it. Right there by the Monticello. Let me see. I might just be able to zoom in. At first glance, it looks like it's just a scratch. But then when you look a little closer, you can see that it's not actually indented into the coin. It's actually just a feature sitting on top of the coin. So that's a pretty cool error there. That's a lamination. Let me see if even with this we might be able to zoom in more. There we go. So as you can see, it's not a scratch, it's not a die crack. you can actually see some thickness and texture to it. There we go. That's probably the best we're gonna get. And it goes over the building and over the other design features. That is a 2023 Denver that we're gonna be keeping. Other than that, I found this off-center 1999 Denver. You can see that the rim on the left side is a lot thicker than the rim on the right side. All right, everyone, so I've laid out all of the coins that are going to be going into the book. We're starting off with the 2024, I believe that is a Philadelphia, so we are missing the 2024 Denver. We come all the way back down to 1996. We have 2 of every Philadelphia and Denver, because I have 2 books to fill, my own personal as well as the Series 1 book. Then after that, I spent the time to upgrade my books, but then pull out the ones that are going to be going into the Series 1 book, and all the way down to 1961, we have all of the coins except for 3, I believe. So there, we are missing a 1971 from Philadelphia, 1968 from Denver. Oh, and I'm just now noticing we skipped 1996, so maybe that's 4 coins. All of these should be shifted 1 over, but that'll be a 1966 that we're missing, and then the 1963 from Philadelphia. So 4 coins down here in the earlier years, and the 2024 Denver, which is the most modern low mintage coin. Before I got all of these nickels into the books, I wanted to go ahead and show you all of my side pulls. So here I have the dirty coin collection that I'm kind of putting together. You can see they all kind of have the same look, where they're pretty much fully covered or mostly covered with a single color, or maybe just like a few select colors. Really what I'm going for, let me see if I can find one that is kind of exactly what it is. Really what I'm going for is like this quarter, where the entire field is kind of darkened and the details of the coin is kind of raised up. It gives it this kind of antique look. So in what I pulled, I guess this one would be most closest to what I'm really going for with this collection. But I did like how all of these ended up looking as well. I also like these ones that it looks like the entire metal has kind of turned red. This is a better example of that, where it's almost entirely red. I guess just on that side. Other than that, I did find a few of these off-center strikes. So as you can see, the rim on the bottom left corner is a lot thicker than the rim on the top right. Let me go ahead and zoom in on that. So a few of these were off-center strikes. So as you can see, a thicker edge on one side and thinner on the other. So I just went ahead and pulled all those out. Next up, I have this grease strike. You can see the middle of the word Monticello is completely missing letters. Right there under the building. So that's pretty cool. That happens when they grease the dies, and then the grease gets stuck into the die instead of the metal forming into it. So those letters are completely gone. So that's a pretty cool find, and it's in decent condition too, especially for a 1983. And then last but not least, I already showed you guys this, but this lamination error on this 2023 Denver, definitely going to keep this one. So all there is to do left is get these in the books. All right, the final wrap up, everybody. I am going to go through the books that I filled up so we can go ahead and take a look at that. Here is how we did. So my personal collection, only 2 coins actually got put into these books, but those 2 coins was the 2024 from Philadelphia in book 3, and then the key date, the 39 San Francisco coin, went into this book 1. So I still need 12 coins here, and the newest 3 coins here in book 3. I also started putting the coins, I took them out of the flips and started putting them into a book that I have for the Buffaloes. So now I do have 4 in that book. And then our series 1 book. So the first book of the series, we're able to put 14 coins into there, as well as 61 coins into book 2. We're only missing a couple out of the 60s and a 1971. And then, of course, the 2024s and 2025s in book 3. So, amazing start. We got most of the holes filled. We didn't finish any of the books. Really, I might consider this one finished. But let's go ahead and take a look at all these coins in here. So this is my personal collection book here. We'll take a look at that 3039 from San Francisco that got put in there. Only 6 million minted. But as you can see, 39 Denver is 3 million minted. So we have a 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, and 6 million here. And as you can see here, 176 million, 120 million. So around this time period, even, these coins, they were minting so many of them that these are just very, very scarce. Then we have a few silvers missing. Looks like of the full collection of 11, I'm missing 3 of the silvers. I'm missing a 46 San Francisco, 49 San Francisco. Of course, the 50D, that is the key date, only 2 million minted there. 51 San Francisco, only 7 million minted. And then somehow this 58 from Philadelphia we're missing. So mostly key dates, semi-key dates, but we'll get that filled soon. Other than that, I wanted to show you the Buffaloes that I do have in my personal collection. So I did add that 1919 that we found in this hunt. You can just barely make out the date, but as we were looking earlier in the video, it's definitely a 1919. I do have this 1926, as well as a 1930 and a 1934 Denver. This red one I actually found in a Coinstar, so that is pretty awesome. All right, real quick, that was the Buffalo series that I have. And then this is the Series 1 books. So in the Series 1 books, book 1, we were able to fill up, whether was it, 14 spots. So as you can see here, these are the 14. The highlight of this book is the silver that we were able to find. And I actually did notice a typo here. It says 1943 steel. It might have gotten mixed up with the 1943 steel cent, but that was definitely silver, not steel. So we do have the 44 from Philadelphia silver, the first silver that is going to be going in this book, or I guess the only silver in this book. And then from the pre-60s, we were able to fill up quite a bit of those. Then over here on book 2, we're only missing a few from the 60s right here. 63, 66, 68 Denver, and one from the 70s. Other than that, this book is full. We got some really good examples in there too. As we're filling this out, I am going to be going through and upgrading. If I find a really, really good looking coin, I'll pull it aside and compare it to these books. And then, of course, the last book of the series, it goes all the way up to date. We're able to fill everything except for the last 2 years. So that is our Series 1. That is the progress that we've been able to make. So that'll be it for the video, guys. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you know someone that might like it, share it to them. And if you want to see me continue this series, fill up these books and upgrade them, make sure you subscribe and watch for more videos. But most of all, thank you for watching.